Get up, you son of a bitch! 'Cause Pawn's drunk loves ya.
What up, what up, what up? You already know this is Pawn's Drunk Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moo Shot himself, a.k.a. El Adobo, a.k.a. El Sazón, a.k.a. El Borracho, a.k.a. Café Bustelo, a.k.a. El Pastor de Boxeo. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you at this side of heaven. Hey, God bless you all. Ladies and gentlemen, boxing is lit. Boxing is lit. And shout out to Turkey Out Shake. Shout out to everybody in the sport of boxing that's actually bringing boxing back. And it has a great momentum to New York City. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Netflix. Shout out to Most Valuable Promotions. Shout out to Turkey Out Shake. Shout out to Golden Boy Promotions. Shout out to Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. Shout out to Top Rank. Shout out to all the fighters, the modern day warriors, modern day gladiators, the one that put their life in the line for pure entertainment. New York City boxing is back. Yeah, baby. Yeah, you already know that May 2nd, one of the most anticipating events in the sport of boxing. Times Square, New York City. Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. Devin the Dream Haney, the former two-division champion, undisputed in the lightweight division, versus Jose Ramirez, former unified champion in the junior welterweight division. And Teofimo Lopez, the two-division lineal champion, the captain of the generation, the commander-in-chief, versus mandatory challenger Arnold Barbosa. It's going to be lit. It's going to be lit. Also, we understand that the IBF Junior welterweight champion Richardson Hitchens, Brooklyn's own, going to be facing the former lightweight undisputed champion George Cambosa Jr. from Australia. That's going to be in the Barclays Center, ladies and gentlemen. New York is going to keep on giving. July 11, one of the most anticipating matchups in the sport of boxing. Yes. The man, it was epic. It still gives me goosebumps. Amanda Serrano, la reina de boxeo, the 7th division world champion, super featherweight undisputed, versus the 2th division undisputed from Ireland, the trailblazer. Man, two of the greatest that ever laced them up. I know there's a constant, who's the greatest? Who's the greatest? Is it Katie? Is it Amanda? Is it Serrano? Is it Taylor? Ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, the trilogy, Netflix, New York City, baby, Madison Square Garden, the Mecca. And then the next day, we got the phenom in the super middleweight division, Edgar Berlanga versus Shiraz, who should have lost to Carlos Adames. Should have lost to Carlos Adames, the middleweight, the WBC middleweight champion and stuff like that. But you seen Turkey Al Shea going around the ring and trying to punk the judges and stuff like that. What is this scorecard? I don't have a lot of money in this shit. What is this scorecard, my friend? Tell me, you judge, what is this scorecard, my friend? Tell me, tell me, Shiraz, motherfucker, you're losing 2 points. Get it back. I'd put this motherfucker in jail just for tweeting bad shit for 19 years. I'd watch it while I do to you. Shout out to Shiraz, Edgar Berlanga. And at the co-main event, we got the 3-division world champion, super featherweight unified champion, lineal champion at the time, moved up to the lightweight division, the current lightweight WBC champion, Shakur Stevenson, versus William Cepeda. That was supposed to be the boogeyman in the lightweight division, but struggled a little bit with Tevin Farmer, had a rematch, prevailed. And I believe that if Tevin Farmer gave William Cepeda a run for his money, I believe the Shakur Stevens is going to whoop that one. Yeah, but hey, the boxer, the slugger, always a great matchup in the sport of boxing. We just never know what's going to happen. And we saw the last time when, Shakur Stevens had that pressure fighter, which was De Los Santos, and that was probably the closest fight, one of the most boring fights that we never want to see and stuff like that. He couldn't cut the ring off. He was running. A lot of people, they wasn't throwing no punches or landing punches. It was just, we ain't never want to see that again. So hopefully Shakur Stevenson, you know what I'm saying, who got the skills to pay the bills, one of the best defensive fighters in the sport of boxing, you know what I'm saying, I know he gets a lot of criticism because of his style, but there's a lot of fights in which he did, took some risk and really fought the fight with Jamel Herring, with Oscar Valdez, with Consocia, with Yoshino. So at the end of the day, I believe that Shakur Stevenson could really stand toe to toe with. I'm not gonna say that he's just gonna stay there and bang him out, but he's gonna take some type of risk and go to the body and see if he could, do what he did to the electrician, if he could do it with William Cepeda, because William Cepeda, we've seen the vulnerability of William Cepeda. He did get knocked down, but also we got one of the most. It's not big like mega, but if the promoters do their job, if the promoters knew what to do with Dominican fighters. And Subriel Matias, because Subriel Matias, a former IPF junior welterweight champion, you got the WBC junior welterweight champion, and Alberto Puello. If they would do their job and promote this fight, because you already know in New York City, July 12th, there's a lot of Puerto Rican fans. The reason why Edgar Berlanga is going to be featured as the main event. There's a lot of Dominican people that the boxing world have not really tapped into that region, tap into the community in which we all know if you live in New York City. Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, we have this, we like cousins. You know what I'm saying? We cousins, we first cousins, but we're very competitive with each other. Whether it's dominoes, whether it's baseball, whether it's ladies, whether it's food. Keep it. Mofongo. Pastelito. Plátano maduro. Plátano verde, coquito, Brugal. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of similarities, but we're highly competitive. And of course, there's been a tradition. The tradition historically in the sport of boxing, Puerto Rico boxing has been very lucrative. You know what I'm saying? Puerto Rico Puerto Rican boxing is really big in this community, and Dominican boxing really never had that type of, that when you think about Dominican sports, you don't think about boxing. But let me tell you like this: things is about to change. Oh, see, mi gente, que lo que, what happened? Yes, Dominican boxing is very, very good right now. What happened, Puerto Rico? You front. Shout out to my beautiful Puerto Rican people, Dominican people, Latinos Unidos. Y'all already know. But Dominican versus Puerto Rico in New York City, I don't think we've never been promoted like that. If the promoters know what they got, this is gonna steal the show. And I want to see some. I want to see some energy. I want to see the Puerto Rican energy. I want to see the machismo and the Dominican energy. Que lo que, mira, yo te voy a romper la boquita. Tú verás en July 12 que lo que te voy a hacer a ti es Subriel Matías. Mira, nene, tú sabes lo que yo te rompo la boca a ti. Mira, nene, vamos a pelear. Ni quiero pelear en julio. Vamos a pelear ahora mismo que yo te rompo la boquita que tú tienes ahí, daddy. Papi, ven, vamos a pelear. Cállate la maldita boca, sucio viejo. Tú hiedes, mi hermano, tú hiedes. Abacalao, sucio viejo. No te bañen usted. We need that type of action, baby. We need that action, baby. We need that action. Si te quieres divertir con el canto y con primo. Solo quieres que viví. Un verano en Nueva York. Hey, yo. Este verano en Nueva York es going to be calientoso. Wow, como la mami de Puerto Rico y Dominican República. But ladies and gentlemen, y'all know, recent interview Teofimo Lopez had with Showbiz the Adult. Shout out to my brother Showbiz. If you haven't subscribed to Showbiz the Adult, you already know where to go. Showbiz the Adult, subscribe, become a member to this channel. You already know, support the good brother out there. Had an interview with Teofimo Lopez, and Teofimo Lopez said that Devin Haney got the most delusional fans, the most delusional fanboys, the most delusional fan base. And I'm gonna say it like this: there's a lot of delusional fan base out there. There's some people that feel like, hey, Teofimo Lopez is delusional because the way that he took that fight, how after the fight with George Cambosa, maybe he delusional. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say it like this, man. There is delusions in fan bases. Devin Haney had a rough year last year. Had a rough 12 months, in which in May 2nd, he could put that all to rest. Because in the sport of boxing, once you just fight by fight, you get a good fight in, great outing, great performance, then it puts the other things in the past, under the rug. So I believe the main second is going to be a big day for Devin the Dream Haney to beat Jose Ramirez, a credible ex-world champion, right? Both of these guys are going to be healthy and 144 pounds. It's going to be in a catch weight, so it ain't going to be nobody shrinking down or really sacrificing like they was at 140 and Devin Haney in 135, right? But there's been back and forth, man. Devin Haney had a rough year. Devin Haney, as we all know, had a rough one. We already know that Devin Haney got whooped by Ryan Garcia from pillar to mother effing post. But the good thing about it is that what we understood in that fight with Devin Haney, the positive that you could take away from the fight. Not what happened after. We could talk about that after. We've been talking about it. But during the fight, Devin Haney showed the heart of a lion. Un guerrero. Time Ryan Garcia put him down, he put him right back up. Put him down, put him right back motherfucking up. Right? But then after the fight, the problem. As we all know, the thing that's, if anybody have that weak, man, you weak. You a GG juice. You a beta male. You a bitch. It was because Devin Haney sued Ryan Garcia. And yes, Ryan Garcia had aspirin in his system, in which many still give Ryan Garcia the benefit of the doubt because aspirin does nothing. Aspirin is like soy milk for men. As a matter of fact, aspirin, suppresses testosterone. At the end of the day, skills pay the bills, and Ryan Garcia put a whooping on Devin the Dream Haney. But this is the sport of boxing. Some people win, some people lose. And it's all right. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes in the sport of boxing, even if you're a winner, if you win, but it wasn't really like that, sometimes it doesn't help you. Because in boxing, it's also how you win and how you lose. For example, we were talking about Shakur Stevenson and Eddie De Los Santos. Let me tell you like this. Shakur Stevenson, he became a 3-division world champion by being Eddie De Los Santos because they was fighting for a vacant lightweight WBC strap. And guess what? That's probably the worst moment performance-wise of his career. So everything is not about winning and losing, but it's how you win and how you lose. Look at Pitbull Cruz, how he performed versus Gervonta Davis. You know what I'm saying? His stock went up. Look at Edgar Berlanga with Canelo Alvarez. He might have lost, but it seems like, look, he's main eventing a July 12th date event. And guess what? Shakur Stevenson is more accomplished than Edgar Berlanga, and Edgar Berlanga is going to be main event. You just never know. You just never know. Look at Ryan Garcia. Look at Ryan Garcia beating Devin the Dream Haney. A lot of people saying that, oh, no. So there's some people that say, no, Ryan Garcia, you cheated. He cheated, but look at Turkey Al Sheikh. I don't give a fuck. He is the star. But Devin Haney is the champion. I don't give a fuck. He is the star, I said. He would have main event. Do you want to be in this event? If you don't want it, do not argue with me, Devin Haney. You would be in the main event. Shut the fuck up. Turkey Al Sheikh humbled Devin the Dream Haney. Do you want to do business with me? You don't know what happened with Top Rank? Do you know? Look, they did a purse bid and they said that you're worth $1.4 million, you cheap motherfucker. Now, do you want their money? Do you want their money from the Turk? I am the ATM. I'm the McDaddy. I'm the pimp in this bitch. I'm the money. May, Turkey Al Sheikh, fuck the Floyd. You don't have to humble yourself and be in the main event to Ryan Garcia. Yo, but, Turkey, you know what I'm saying? He said things about that every Muslim is a pedo. I don't care. I didn't pedo myself. That Haiti, I already know that the Haiti and Bill Haiti is Muslims and shit like that. So he told, but Turk, why you showing him the red carpet and stuff like that? You didn't hear what he said about, in the summer about Muslim being pedos and stuff like that. Don't shut that. My ex is 15 years old. I'm no different from Milaj or Mohammed. I'm no different from him. I just don't have any Malcolm X to pull my cards out. To expose the fuck out of me. But there's a lot of delusional fan bases, right? I think Gervonta Tank Davis fan base is probably a little bit more delusional and stuff like that. Like, especially what transpired with Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamar Roach, right? Lamar Roach beat Gervonta Tank Davis, right? If any Gervonta Tank Davis fan be like, no, it was a fight, and I think I had Tank Davis win by 1 round. Shut the F up. Shut up, all right? Like, everybody saw it, man, in broad daylight. That Gervonta Tank Davis took a damn knee, all right? Sheesh. He took a damn knee like hookers in the point and hunch points, bro. Shit was ashy and though. He even wiped his knee in the process. And he even said it. He turned around. This could have been disqualification right there, turning around. Not only turn around, he went to his corner and get his thing wiped. His corner worked on within the round. Disqualification. And the New York State Athletic Commission, see, I'm happy that that boxing is in New York, but then the New York State Athletic Commission, you got a lot of work to do. You got a lot of rewrite the wrongs. You got a lot of upcoming events. You got to rewrite the wrong. I want to see some good professionalism. We're probably going to see Steve Willis in one of these fights because he's from New York as well. And Steve Willis was actually my favorite referee. Gotta, you know what I'm saying? Gotta redeem yourself, Steve Willis, crazy eye. Yeah, delusional fan base. No, Tank won, bro. He lost. I mean, Tank is the most accomplished. No, he ain't. He's not more accomplished than T.O. He's not more accomplished than Devin. He's not even more accomplished than Boots. Even Boots is a lineal champion right now. He's not more accomplished than Shakur. He don't got the aura right now. Gervonta Tank Davis, Lamar Roach, probably that fight could be in New York again. Maybe it'll be in Vegas because what transpired, I doubt it's going to happen in New York. I don't think that Lamar Roach want that fight to happen in New York. But that's going to be a good fight. But that fan base could be delusional. What about the Canelo Alvarez fans? Now, I'm a Canelo Alvarez fan, but I also understand there is fanboys within the fan base. Because as much as what Canelo Alvarez has done in the sport of boxing, as we all know that Canelo Alvarez, the 4-division world champion, the 4-division world champion, super middleweight undisputed, King Nello, a.k.a. Cartelo, a.k.a. Cash Nello, a.k.a. Payday, a.k.a. get the fuck out of here, man, if you don't believe he's the best. But Canelo Alvarez does sound different when it comes to David Benavidez. Come on now. We can't deny that. And for those that be like, no, he don't have to fight David Benavidez because David Benavidez no ain't still nada. He haven't done nothing. No, Canelo Alvarez no tienes que pelear con David Benavidez. ¿Qué ha hecho el Tigres? ¿Qué ha hecho David? No ha hecho nada. He hasn't done nothing, man. What has he done? Okay, he beat Kalen Plant, but Canelo Alvarez knocked out Kalen Plant. Él les ganó, lo noqueó. Also, what? He beat Demis Andre. We all know that Canelo Alvarez will beat Demis Andre. Get the fuck out of here, man. He's a terrible fighter. All right, he moved up to the 175-pound division to fight Alexandre, but Canelo Alvarez went to the 175-pound division to beat Kovalev. Who cares? He beat David Morrell. David Morrell was just hyped. He ha hecho nada. Él no tiene que le das chance. Y tú sabes que David Benavidez, he be gaining man weight. He's like a heavyweight. But we all know that Canelo Alvarez never really truly expressed the weight and the difference and the you know the what he's been giving up all these years, right? Been giving up size and shit like that, height, size. Canelo Alvarez is done. As a matter of fact, Canelo Alvarez is always fighting bigger guys. So why this size and weight came about when it's time to talk about David Benavidez? So when we see the changing of the attitude, the changing of the character, the changing of the personality and the talking points, right? Moving to the goalposts, right? Seems like, damn. You scared about something. Now, Canelo Alvarez has been in the ring with every damn style there is in boxing. Canelo Alvarez has beaten the Russian style. Canelo Alvarez has beaten the Asian style in Kazakhstan. Canelo Alvarez has beaten the Cuban style in Lara. Canelo Alvarez has beaten the Puerto Rican style in Cotto and Edgar Berlanga. Canelo Alvarez has beaten the Mexican style with Chavez and Jaime Munguia. Chavez is going to be fighting Jake Paul as well. You know? He's beaten the black skillful fighters and slick fighters, black American slick fighters like Trout and Danny Jacobs. He beat the black slick fight, the white slick American fighter in Kalen Plant. He beat the brawler UK fighter in damn John Ryder. He beat the slick UK fighter in Billy Joe Saunders. You know what I'm saying? Canelo Alvarez has beaten every damn style from every damn culture. So I don't know if he's not fearful. He's not scared about the man. But maybe he's scared what he could lose. Because losing to, look, and again, but he fought Mexican fighters. But we all know that Jaime Munguia was not the threat to Canelo Alvarez. In the 168-pound division, we all know that the biggest threat and the most, it was David Benavidez. Even before that Canelo Alvarez fought Callum Smith, we know that it was David Benavidez, the biggest threat to Canelo Alvarez. Now, whether he's going to beat him or not, but the biggest threat, opinionated by the masses in the sport of boxing, was David Benavidez. David Benavidez beat Kalen Plant. David Benavidez the man. David Benavidez bring that type of aura, that enigma, that he is something different and special, and that guy is the guy that's going to take the torch from Canelo Alvarez, because taking the torch or torch fights is historic in the sport of boxing, because not everybody, fighters come and go. Manny Pacquiao lost to Ugas. Now, you think that Manny Pacquiao, the 8th division world champion, 5-time lineal, 12-time world champion, the ambassador, the senator, the humanitarian, the greatest karaoke singer of them all, will lose to Ugas in his prime? No, but shout out to Ugas. But no, Manny Pacquiao would do a number on Ugas. But time's passed. Like Oscar De La Hoya beat Camacho. Oscar De La Hoya beat Pernell Whitaker. Oscar De La Hoya beat Julio Cesar Chavez. Mike Tyson beat Larry Holmes. Passing the torch fight, right? Inoue beat Nonito Donaire. Legendary fighter that's going to go to the Hall of Fame. But there's fan bases that gets delusional. Just don't want to keep it real. And I understand that the fan bases are also ignited by boxing content creators that got high traffic, right? That's going to come up with these narrative and hold others accountable, but create a narrative to protect their favorite fighter. See, Canelo Alvarez, for the most part, has done everything great in the sport of boxing. That's why he's going to be a future first ballot Hall of Fame and stuff like that. It's already stamped. But when it comes to David Benavidez, I think that the fan base are delusional. I think when it comes to David with Devin Haney, the fan base get delusional because Devin Haney fans believe that Osterman is who beat Devin Haney. No, it was the skills and the left hook of Ryan Garcia. And let's not forget that Devin Haney and his dad, Devin Haney already said that Ryan Garcia is a one-trick pony. And if it's a one-trick pony and you know what was coming and still was getting hit, what you knew what was coming, pause, damn, then I got to question the IQ of Devin the Dream Haney. That's almost like when people said, Deontay Wilder only got a right hand, but damn, he's knocking everybody else with the right hand. Let me know the IQ of that other fighter. If he knew that he's a one-trick pony, you don't got to look for the footwork. You don't got to look for another jab or for jabs with the solo plex, hooks to the body and stuff like that. No, he only got a left hook. That's it. That's all Ryan Garcia got. And you got beaten up by the left hooks. That makes Devin Haney is in his IQ low. Interpretation, right? So what are the most delusional fans? And of course, we only going to ask the question to the high invested fighter that got a large fan base. You know what I'm saying? Is Ryan Garcia fan base delusional? I don't really think so. You know, because Ryan Garcia never really tried to promote that he want to become a champion, to be the greatest fighter that ever lived. So his fan base is not necessarily geared to hold on to O's and stuff like that. So we talk Gervonta Tan Davis, Devin Haney fans. Is the Teofimo Lopez fans delusional? See, I think that Teofimo Lopez is the captain of the generation, the commander-in-chief. I think the guy, and I've been saying it since day one, and I think he's the most accomplished. As a matter of fact, he is the most accomplished. He got the better resume of his peers, in which when he came into the sport of boxing, right? They became pro around the same time. Tio, Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Ryan Garcia, you know, Jermaine Ortiz, all these guys, Richardson Hitches, all these guys that came around the same class in the amateurs and stuff like that. Who got the better resume, who got the most accomplishment, two-time lineal champion by the age of 25, being Vasily Lomachenko and Josh Taylor. So when we're talking about Teofimo Lopez and his resume and what he could do in that ring, no, what he accomplished, not delusional, but it's also, does he perform to the level of his competition? I could say that honestly, that in some cases, yes, he does. I believe he could have done way better versus Steve Claggett. And I'm not saying he won every round, but because where Steve Claggett was coming from and the unknown, and yes, he's tough, but at the end of the day, he was tailor-made for Teofimo Lopez. As a matter of fact, they handpicked a Steve Claggett so he could look good because he didn't like the way that Jermaine Ortiz fought and running and stuff like that. He wanted somebody that's going to come and fight. And he had that for 12 rounds. So I can understand what the people say. I'm not going to be like, nah, man, y'all talking shit. He doesn't perform to the level of his competition. The Jermaine Ortiz fight was kind of iffy to me because I'm like, yo, I never seen Jermaine Ortiz fight like that. So I never give Jermaine Ortiz the benefit of the doubt. I'm not even giving him, no, man. Okay, you won 12, but you was running. That's not the way that you fight. You wouldn't even try to win the fight. You wouldn't even try to be a champion. You ain't fight like that versus Vasily Lomachenko. You ain't fight like that versus the other dudes that you've been fighting, Jamel Herring and stuff like that. Or even in your last outing, come on, Jermaine Ortiz, and you Dominican too. But it gave you the benefit of the doubt, the style that you was fighting. But damn, you was running like it was the Boston Marathon. And I think internally he knows that he lost an opportunity in which he had a great opportunity to even become a world champion. When it comes to George Kambosos, see, now that's different. I can understand how the fans feel, but because I knew that Teofimo Lopez, and I knew what was happening with him throughout the week, and I was there, I was seeing it, and I even told Teofimo Lopez, yo, why you fighting? Why you ain't going to postpone the fight? You know what I'm saying? I was there, so I see it, but it's just my words against what the perception and the outsiders is just too many. So I understand it. In the end of the day, Teofimo Lopez stepped inside that ring. So you can't even have that type of excuses. But I also did say, I remember that live, I did say that George Kambosos, do not, in a live, I said, don't be comfortable with that win. Don't be in the clouds with that win, because you win life and death with a dude that was like 50-50 or even 45%. Because I even said that he shouldn't even step inside a ring. I said that. I say, y'all never, if y'all familiar with the channel, Punch Drunk Boxing, aka Mr. Moonshine himself, go find me a video when I did a prediction of Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos. The prediction, like before the fight that I do with a bunch of fights. No, I knew he should have never been in that ring. I even told Teofimo Lopez, yo, you remind me of my son right now, when my son got hospitalized for 4 days straight because my oldest son, he suffered from chronic asthma. I said, man, you looking like my son right now. That was on a Wednesday. Leading up to the fight before Thanksgiving. So I could only go through my experience. I knew that he wasn't 100%. Yeah, at the end of the day, it happens. A split decision. Are people going to say I'm delusional for it? No, I'm not delusional, because, hey, you can ask certain people out there. Well, people that was out there saw how he was. But because his fan base be delusional, they believe what I saw. So there's a delusional fan base. Was the Deontay Wilder fan base? Oh my Lord! And look, I was a Deontay Wilder fan, but you wouldn't even notice I was a Deontay Wilder fan because there was a lot of delusional fanboys saying that, no, Tyson Fury, oh my God, that was, hey, yo, people got rich off of those type of narratives, man. Tyson Fury was the glove. Tyson Fury cheated. Tyson Fury, it was a skin complexion. Tyson Fury spiked water. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, glove gate, water gate, costume gate. It was crazy. Deontay Wilder fans probably in the last 5 years, 5-6 years, it has been the most delusional fan base of all of boxing. Yo, it was crazy. It was crazy. I wish they would have fought sooner because then it would have, but it took a toll, especially during the pandemic and stuff like that. It was the most delusional narratives, delusional, man. And then it was emotional. Grown man was emotional. So in my opinion, Deontay Wilder probably had the most delusional fan base. I think Devin Haney's fan base is. How about the fighters that are with Snack? And people think, how about the Bud Crawford fan base? Thinking that he could move up 3 divisions up and challenge Canelo Alvarez. I don't like the fight because I see the delusion in that fight. Matter of fact, I believe that Turkey Al Sheikh is delusional about Bud Crawford challenging Canelo Alvarez. Is it gonna have some successful rounds? I believe anybody can have any successful rounds. We've seen Kell Brook have successful rounds with Triple G after Triple G broke his eye. We've seen it. I'll give you some rounds. But eventually you're gonna get knocked the hell out bad. And I just think that Bud Crawford spiritually is doing it for all the wrong reasons because he's doing it for money, and money is right there in his face. He'll be dumb not to take the money. That's why he's taking the fight, because he's dumb. He'll be dumb not to take the fight to get the money. But health is everything. It's not cliche. You can have all the money in the world, but you don't got your health. We could all end up like Steve Jobs. God rest his soul. But Bud Crawford, man, I think it's delusional for people to think that Bud Crawford could be in the same sentence as Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya. If you compare the damn resume and who they fought at the time when they fought them and the prime fighters and stuff like that. Like, think about it. Bud Crawford's best win outside of Earl the True Spence is damn Gamboa. And he was moving up. I think that's delusional. I think the Bud Crawford fan of late, I don't even know who. I think the Bud Crawford and Devin Haney fan has been the most delusional fans in the past year or two, especially with this Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Yeah, I think he beat everybody. There was a lot of people, especially Bud Crawford fans, that was downplaying Earl the True Spence in this community. And once he beat Earl Spence, oh my God, like it's like David beat Goliath. Oh my God, he could beat Sugar Ray Leonard. He could beat Hagler and Hearns. He could beat Oscar De La Hoya. He beat Earl the True Spence, a guy that I never get credit to. And let's be real. Let's not be delusional about the whole thing. Earl Spence did had a long layoff. Earl Spence had a second car accident. Earl Spence, before the Ugas fight, had surgery. So yeah, we can't bring that a type of excuse because he stopped Ugas. But let's not act like he was fighting the best Earl Spence. No, I think if he would have fought him, right after the Ugas fight, when they was doing the first, when they was negotiating the fight, that the fight was supposed to be November 19th, because I believe that Earl Spence, when Terence Crawford pulled out of the negotiations and then he got in another car accident around December, right? That postponed it back. And I think that the delusional of the Bud Crawford fans is that they think that Bud Crawford was always about legacy. Always about legacy. No. He was not always about legacy. He was about his money. He was about his money, just like Gervonta Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? In terms of just for the money. He pulled out of the negotiation with Earl the True Spence, the biggest fight in the sport of boxing, in which all the belt federations really put a halt on everything they was doing for the welterweight division. They ain't no mandatories, no nothing, no purse bids, no nothing. The Bud Crawford and Earl Spence negotiations had the whole division hostage. And Bud Crawford pulled out because he had an opportunity to get an easy $10 million, reportedly, with BOK Prime versus Dave Avenesian. He put that fight with Earl Spence in jeopardy because if Earl Spence said, you know what, F it, and would have listened to his business handlers like Al Heyman and stuff, Al Heyman and Showtime at the time, and would have fought Keith and Tom Thurman, he would have got just as much money, probably, because think about it. Earl Spence did what, almost 40K out there in Dallas Stadium with Ugas. Now, can you imagine Keith Thurman and Earl Spence and the promo? Come on now. If Ugas and Spence did for almost 40K, I think it was 39,000, 40K. WrestleMania did 60K. I think it probably would have reached to 50 to 55K. People. Yeah. And you know that Keith von Tom Thurman know how to promote. Shit, he could promote a Brock Jarvis fight, and everybody in the boxing world was talking about that. Maybe they think that Earl Spence fan is delusional. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Earl Spence fan is but I don't think about the delusion because I think that Earl Spence, I think the car accident humbled a lot of people, humbled him. And he never took these type of tune-ups. So we gave Earl Spence the benefit of the doubt. His resume speaks for itself even after the accident. And after another accident, he could have taken Keith and Tom Thurman, in which a lot of people didn't even think that Keith Thurman had a momentum, and they believed that Earl Spence would have beat Keith and Tom Thurman, but he took the hardest fight anyway. After the accident, he took the Danny Swift Garcia fight, a fight that I've been wanting to see Terence Crawford in. Danny Garcia, Terence Crawford. We always talk about the amateur battles and rivalries, like we've talked about Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, just like we talk about Boots Ennis and Gary Antoine Russell, right? Just like we talk about Keyshawn Davis and Andy Cruz. Well, guess what? Danny Swift Garcia. Oh, Leo Santa Cruz and Gary Russell. Well, Danny Garcia and Bud Crawford had their rivalries. I always wanted to see that fight. Even though if there's people at the time that thought that Bud would have beaten Danny Swift Garcia. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's a fight that I wanted to see because there was a rivalry. I'm into the amateurs as well, just like we want to see Andy Cruz versus Keyshawn Davis today is the reason why I still wanted to see Bud Crawford and Danny Swift Garcia. You feel me? I would like to see Charles Hatley versus Keith Thurman in the pros like they did in the amateurs. I think we could have seen. I mean, they wasn't too far away from each other in terms of division, but, Demise Andre, when he was on 154 and Keith Thurman, because Keith Thurman did fight one bout, I think, at 150, a catchweight 150 or 151. I don't know if it was Carlos Quintana he fought that fight or Laura. I think it was Laura. The Mexican dude. I think they fought at 150 or 151. But they fought in the amateurs. But I think the Deontay Wilder fans and the Terence Crawford of late is delusional. Now, even we look at the women's side, right? July 11th, Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. Of course, with the women, there's been this debate: who's the greatest of all time? The GOAT, Clarissa Shields, or is it the 7th Division World Champion, undisputed, the most decorated champion, in Amanda Serrano? Also, one of the most decorated champion, Clarissa Shields. Is it Katie Taylor, the 2 division undisputed world champion, with probably the better resume, right? Because Amanda Serrano is in Katie Taylor's resume, and look at her resume as well. Natasha Jonas, you know what I'm saying? What about this girl that a lot of people don't like to bring into the table when we talk about one of the greatest, in Cecilia Breakers? A lot of people don't talk about Jessica McCaskill. I'm not gonna say she's the greatest, but Jessica McCaskill was undisputed. I believe was undisputed. Michaela Mayer, Alicia Baumgartner, Estrada should have never retired. Chantel Cameron. Look, I would like to see Chantel Cameron, Katie Taylor, the trilogy. Who's the greatest? Is Clarissa Shields delusional, or is she delusional, or is it that people just not gonna give her the benefit of the doubt of being the greatest of all time because they don't like her mouth or her attitude? And they don't want they don't want her to be the face of women boxing because she doesn't fit the humbleness and the or I'm not gonna say attraction, because I believe that attitude, character is what makes a person attractive and beautiful for the most part. Some guys right now listening right now, what you talking about punching shit like that, man? She bud. It's the attitude that can make somebody ugly. It's the attitude that can make somebody beautiful, right? Correct? Attraction is attractions. Whatever stimulates your hormones. That's one thing. There's a lot of guys that doesn't like the slim, no teta, no, and a flat ass, but got a pretty face as she's walking down the runway models, and people find that attraction. There's guys that don't find that attraction. They like the little thick. You know what I'm saying? They like, the little thick chicks. They got the little pouch right here. Got the little nice little pouch. You know what I'm saying? Under their belly button, you feel that little pouch. They like that. There's some dude there. I don't like that thick stuff. It's too much. I like a thin, skinny, because if I have a baby, she'll turn, then she turn a little thickety thick. I like my woman 117 pounds or 12 pounds, something like that. Some guys like their big women, you know what I'm saying? Big and luscious, 175, 185 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Type of chicks that be when they hop or when they jump. The titty be knocking them out. They be like, boom, boom, boom. But I like the big mommies. You ever seen a nice, big, I'm not gonna say over but a nice heavy set woman, and then they lose weight. They be like, nah, I'd rather have her when she was heavy set. She looked sick now. Sometimes it don't fit, right? It don't fit. But yeah, man, delusional. There's a delusional fan base. So I want you to let me know who got the most delusional fan base. Is it Devin Haney? Is it Deontay Wilder? Is it Terence Crawford? Is it Canelo Alvarez? Is it Earl Spence? Is it Gervonta Tank Davis? Is it T.O.? Is it Ryan? Got the most delusional fan base. I think right now, we're talking about the present time, the most delusional fan base right now, I think is Terence Crawford. Just because they think that, oh my God, Canelo Alvarez. Not in a toxic way, but I just feel like a Terence Crawford and a Virgil Ortiz would have just been a better fight, respectable fight. Jermell Charlo versus Terence Crawford would be good at 154. Yeah, I think those are the fan base that people could debate whether and look, forget about just delusional. Who got the best fan base? I think Canelo Alvarez in the flip side got the best fan base. Hold them down. Like, look, there's a lot of people that's going to support the William Skull fight. I'm a Canelo Alvarez fan. I don't even want to see that fight. But the good and the support overwhelms the negative and the delusion, in my opinion. When it comes to Devin Haney, I think the delusion overrides the support, right? And I just think that it's not so much Devin Haney. I think that Bill Haney has become one of the main characters in the sport of boxing as well. And his mouth, the way that he promotes his son and support his son, rubs people the wrong way. Sometimes people catch him in a lie, tell the truth and the lie, over exaggerate certain things. Yeah, at the end of the day, Bill Haney has done a wonderful job to put his son in position to where he's at. I find it delusional. Put it this way. I find it delusional that there's fans out there that feel like fathers should not be in the sport of boxing or in the corner of their sons. There's a lot of fans out there that feel like fathers should not be in their son's corner. I feel like Teofimo Lopez should be in this corner. In Teo's corner. I feel like Bill Haney should be in Devin Haney's corner. I feel like Virgil Ortiz Sr. should be in Virgil Ortiz's corner, like he is even with Robert Garcia. He's in his corner. I like the way that Henry Garcia is always in Ryan Garcia's corner, regardless if he got Derrick James. I like the Bozy. A lot of people was critiquing Bozy, right? They was critiquing Jerome Booth and his dad after the Cameron fight. He should see new trainer. New trainer. And then look what happened versus Stanionis. Now he's a great trainer, right? Shingo Inoue should be probably trainer of the year as well, right? Shout out to the fathers. Fatherhood is prominent in the sport of boxing. But anyway, I think that's the most delusion right there, the most delusional. But I think for the most part, in this like the last for the past 5 years, I think Deontay Wilder fan has been the most delusional. I know they have taken a break because Deontay Wilder hasn't been the same whatsoever. But I think right now the delusion is that Terence Crawford could beat Canelo. The delusion with Devin Haney is that it was Osterman that beat Devin Haney, and it wasn't the skills of Ryan Garcia. That's the delusion of Devin Haney fans and stuff like that. The Canelo Alvarez fans is that Canelo Alvarez does not fear David Benavidez. And I don't think that Canelo Alvarez fears David Benavidez. I think that Canelo Alvarez may be fearing or scared of what he may lose by losing to David Benavidez. Like the fan base, is all the fan base going to just gear, and David Benavidez is going to adopt the fan base, which has helped Canelo Alvarez stay where he have stayed. You know what I'm saying? Is he scared of that? Is he scared there's going to be a shift? You know? Because I do think that if David Benavidez, the way that David Benavidez did 150K with a morale, and we see that David Benavidez is climbing the ladders and the interest is doubling and tripling. If David Benavidez beat Canelo Alvarez in a fashion in which he could beat, if he beat Canelo Alvarez the way that he beat, let's say, Demise Andre, he takes over the sport of boxing, y'all. All the way. He takes over the sport of boxing. He's the face of boxing, and right now there's people that are saying that he should be the face of Mexican boxing, because there's a lot of people that just doesn't like that Canelo Alvarez is fighting William Skull, and like that's it. He's not going for legacy no more. You know, he's actually cashing out. But let me know what y'all think, man. Who got the most delusional fans? Leave it in the chat. Y'all already know. Thank you for the people that have supported the channel, been smashing the like button. Super thanks, cash apps, So y'all already know, man. This is Punch Drunk Boxing, aka Mr. Moonshine himself. Let me know who's the most delusional fans in the sport of boxing. Do you agree with Teofimo Lopez that Devin Haney is got the most delusional most delusional fans? I think every mega or massive fan base got a culture of fanboys within the fan base. That's what I believe. I think that but always supporting your fighter is always good. That's one thing I did respect about the UK fans. They always respect their fighters, except for kind of Ben Whitaker. They don't even want to respect Ben Whitaker. I don't even know why. I think that the UK fans is trying to adopt the American toxic fan, the way that American boxing fans act, very toxic and hateful and never give credit. Seems like that's how the UK fans is looking at Ben Whitaker. But shout out to Ben Whitaker. Ben Whitaker is a treasure, should be a treasure for UK boxing. But of course, what we was talking about earlier too. You know what I'm saying? The July 12th fight, Puerto Rican versus Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic versus Puerto Rico. Puello versus Subriel Matias. I think that Puello is a better fighter. Who got the bigger cojones? Who got the biggest testicular fortitude and stuff like that? Maybe Subriel Matias. I don't know, but I think better technical fighter, well-rounded in my opinion, would be Puello. It's Puello. So I think in this sense, I think Dominicans will win this fight. And I think it's a friendly competition, just like it's always been, like in baseball, where Dominicans and Puerto Ricans like first cousins, but we're highly competitive with one another. I think that the islands have helped each other grow, even in you know what I'm saying. If you ask a lot of people in Puerto Rico, there's a lot of Dominican people that go to Puerto Rico and work and do a lot of labor work, just like Haiti do it in Dominican Republic, and just like all of us do it out here in America, right? So I think a lot of Puerto Ricans and Dominican, we owe it to each other in certain genre and certain things, right? In music, you've heard Tego Calderon give a lot of credit to the Dominican Republic for, supporting them, just like Celia Cruz from Cuba have given a lot of credit to the Dominican Republic in her support. Spanish rappers, reggaeton artists, Daddy Yankee, you know what I'm saying? And just because of how you look at the music and how it is and how Dominican Puerto Ricans really are like first cousins, second, like brothers, right? We ever had a close cousin that they're like your brothers, like, you know, just raised the same, your mother's aunts or your father's uncles and stuff. Everybody is all close like that. Like we're cousins, but we're more like we're brothers and sisters and stuff like that. Like that. I think that's how Puerto Rican and Dominicans are. And just like in the baseball, when it's back and forth, when they playing in the world games and stuff like that. Puerto Rico versus Dominican Republic, everybody's engaged with that. I think that Puerto Rican won the last time, right? So now I think it's coming into the sport of boxing. I think it's going to be exciting, especially in New York City. And if the promoters are understand, they should hire Punch Drunk Boxing and other people, other boxing content creators to understand the region, understand the impactful and how Dominican versus Puerto Rico in boxing could be a thing. Like we know that Puerto Rico versus Mexican is a thing, but let me tell you like this. If you think that Puerto Rico and Mexican is a thing, of course, they have a long tradition of it. But in this side of America, New York, Jersey, Pennsylvania, you know what I'm saying? Boston, if you put, and we got enough Dominican fighters now, Polanco, Eldy Cedillo Martinez, Henry Cedillo Martinez, Michel Rivera, Elvis Rodriguez. Hopefully he bounced back. Edo de los Santos is going to be performing versus Keyshawn Davis. You see, they're going to be performing in Virginia. They're not promoting him right. They could promote him better, and it could be actually a better fight and put it in New York. And you know what I'm saying? Promote it to the Dominican fan base, Washington Heights, Dykeman, Manhattan, Harlem, Brooklyn, Bronx. Like it's a gold mine. This rivalry is a gold mine, but the boxing people don't know because they really don't know what to do with Dominican fighters, how to promote Dominican fighters. But this is a gold mine. Everybody that knows about Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and the competitive that we are towards each other in this side, in this side of the country, they know. People know. Yo, this gonna be lit. This, because if you promote a Puerto Rican fighter and a Dominican fighter, it could sell out the garden. To be honest, it could. Just look how an Irish fighter could come to even the Hulu theater and sell out just like a Teofimo Lopez, just like a Edgar Berlanga. You know why? Because the Irish support their own. They support their own anywhere they go. They don't have to be the greatest fighter or the high invested fighter. They support their own. You know what I'm saying? When you got an Italian fighter, look at Paul Spendafogo when he was out there in Pittsburgh selling out arenas. You know what I'm saying? If they cater to the Dominican fighter in its region, as a matter of fact, I think even Subriel Matias people didn't do a good job with Subriel Matias. They never put him in New York City, right? Well, maybe this is going to be the start of it. This is probably going to be the start of it, but we're going to promote this fight, and I want to know your opinion in the comment section as well. What you think about the new rivalry in boxing, but an old rivalry when it comes to anything else. But this could be a new, large, big rivalry in the sport of boxing, and it starts July 12th. Puello versus Subriel Matias. Let me know who wins. Let me see what culture. Not what culture, because we're the same culture. Let me see which island wins. All right, let's see if Puerto Rican could get the independence with a victory over Puello. Anyway, we're gonna be talking more about this until once the fight comes. We're gonna be talking about this throughout the month, throughout April, May, June. Let me know what y'all think, man. Again, shout out to Edgar Berlanga for securing that deal and humbling the boxing world, because Edgar Berlanga, a lot of people was trying to make fun of Edgar Berlanga, and Edgar Berlanga proved to you that he is one of the faces of boxing. He proved to you that he is a hot commodity and his value is way up. And he exposed Eddie Hearn trying to snub him, putting him in the co-main event to Ammo Williams, trying to snub him and stuff like that. It did not work. You know what I'm saying? It's chess, not checkers, right? So you got to give Edgar Berlanga the benefit of the doubt that, you know what I'm saying, he humbled Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing, and everybody in the sport of boxing that was trying to say that he's not worth this, that he's not a star, you're not a superstar. But Turkey Al Sheikh believes he's a superstar, and he's going to be main eventing July 12th, New York City. Not know if it's going to be in Madison Square Garden, not know if it's going to be in the Barclays Center, but I can't wait. Y'all already know they're tuning into Punch Drunk Boxing, aka Mr. Moonshine himself. Love y'all. God bless. And on to the next.